earlier their series against Selfless. I don't know how they pull it off. They managed to do well under pressure. I think this is going to be their advantage.
And neither of these teams have necessarily had that convincing of a series just yet. But one of them will be meeting Northern Gaming in the next round. Who will it be? The Leftovers or Flipside Tactics? Let's find out. We are at DFH Stadium for game number 1. It's going to be interesting to see who can take these boosts, considering both of these teams are a speed-based strategy for both of them. Although the Leftovers are a little bit more positioning focused. There's Snasky, who's got the opportunity to take control. It's going to come off the backboard, but Marky can launch that long, and there's going to be no one back. Going to go for the sidewall, though. As Greasy will be one of the men to watch. Him and Siki fill very similar roles on both teams. Pretty much the glue that holds them together and does not allow mistakes to come through.
Leftovers enjoy the passing plays. Over 80% of their goals scored in league play were from passes.
There's going to be a shot straight off the side, but Cooksir did have it covered, even though he didn't need to. Just does not want Snasky to get a rebound shot, as Farah will leave that for Siki, as he takes up the wall, making great use of the extra height you can gain by going up there. Pass over from Marky to Greasy, as Cooks is going to hold this backline. Smart challenge from him. Snasky pulled the ball too far out, and Farah will be able to deal with Cooks's touch.
Flat zeros across the board, by the way. No shots for anybody, no saves, no assists, no goals. Super slow paced early on, but with this much threat on the board of potential elimination, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, both these teams going for more of a launching shot from each side of the field, just not wanting the ball anywhere near their goal. That seems to be priority number 1, and getting a goal priority number 2. Snasky's got his opportunity, tries to take the ball into the air. He's got another flick, puts it up high. Rebound opportunity for Farah, but Greasy comes in last second to move it away. Here's another shot from Siki, but Cooksir will happily take that. He's got Greasy around to help him out. Still 0-0. We are almost 2 minutes into this first game, and the Leftovers, this is pretty much their favorite type of match where they can just slow it down and grind it out. They are positioning based, they do not want mistakes, and if Siki is playing well, they will not make them.
And Flipside are good at overwhelming, so I'm surprised that I haven't seen them start an attack, but I think they want that first tiny mistake out of Leftovers. They want to make sure that they pin them against their own backboard to keep them in the goal, but they haven't been able to start an attack just yet.
Snasky pushing it to the side, but Marky's read it. Tries to turn himself around. As Cooks will take it up the wall, he probably can do it yet again. He's pushing into the middle, trying to get himself a second touch. As Greasy just pushing it into the corner, and that's going to hand the possession back over to Leftovers in a game that pretty much is exactly what they did against Alpha Sydney yesterday, just grinding out those 1-0 wins. I get a feeling that Flipside Tactics might be falling into a trap as Greasy leaves it for a second. He's managed to fake out Snasky with that, just that extra second, almost pulled Snasky out of position. But he did not jump early, so Snasky's able to take control, but this time 2 players commit, Snasky and Farah. I mean, Siki that time come together and correct both of their mistakes.
Team pinch, I guess?
Just team flailing, it hopefully works. But it certainly did.
This is it, Flipside starting to get those volley of attacks. They finally have put Leftovers on defense. They're starting to starve them out of boost as well.
Yeah, you can see Farah going all the way out to the middle of the field to try and get some boost. He's going to rotate himself back. Marky Duda and the rest of Flipside Tactics are going to try and do their best Northern Gaming impression with the amount of time they can keep the Leftovers in their own half. But Snasky using that Batmobile for extra catapult power across the field. Minute and 30 remaining, still scoreless here. As we can see, Snasky sat all the way back. This is exactly why, so he can immediately gobble up that shot. He's managed to find Siki, but Siki couldn't turn himself around. Here's Farah. He's actually been beat by Marky Duda. This is something Flipside Tactics will do quite often once they feel quite comfortable. Leave someone downfield and just try and launch the ball directly at the person, because they're so mechanically strong, they can usually deal with whatever comes for them. 60 seconds now remaining. We have hit silver goal territory. Greasy just pushing that straight back over to the Leftovers, hoping Siki would make a mistake. And they've managed to get possession of the ball, but immediately transitioned back into the Flipside half. As Farah with yet another challenge. Marky Duda can try and move forward. Actually, here comes the shot, and that's going to be Siki. That is a boomer.
It seems that Flipside were ready for a pass as opposed to a shot. Cookser came, cheated up just past the post, so he had backwards momentum when the shot came in. Leftovers get the first goal with only 37 seconds left.
That is the silver goal right there. Marky Duda and the rest of FlipSid need to now pick up the pace. They have fallen into the Leftovers trap. And it might cost them this first game. Marky Duda with the launching pass, but it's only up to Snasky who's turned it towards his own net. That is an own goal! Snasky, no!
I don't even want to talk about it.
You're gonna have to.
This is absolutely devastating. Trying to cheat that through. Doesn't want Marky to follow it up to the corner, but Siki was back there. He should have just allowed Siki to do it. Not only was he putting himself out of position and probably a tad bit of boost, but he shot it on his own net.
It's one of those situations where not only was it a bad touch from Snasky, but that lack of communication that Leftovers pretty much do. They don't really talk to each other much. Apart from, yeah, well done, mostly congratulatory stuff. And that time they did need a call from Siki just to say it was his. Now Snasky finds himself pretty far back, but he's managed to find the safe corner as Cooks puts it up high, and we are going to go into overtime if this ball touches the floor, and it will. Overtime in game 1.
Leftovers were so close. They had it in the bag right now. Both teams tied at 4 shots apiece. A very slow game for both of these teams.
Breezy's going to have his opportunity to play the ball in the corner, and he has. Farah should be beats that by Marky, puts the ball up high, but Farah, the ball just sort of lands on him, and he will take it. Siki's going to have his opportunity. He tries to look for Farah downfield. That will be very difficult to work with as the pushing pass from Cooks it over to Marky. They got it somewhere dangerous. Siki is pretty far back. He's plenty of boost, so any sort of long balls played by FlipSid Tactics will have next to no effect. But Marky's actually pulled out Siki, but Farah in that midfield area is just going to happily get rid of it. This game is slowing down yet again. You have to feel like that suits the Leftovers as Cooks it tried to fake out Snasky. Was not going to happen. Now Snasky's going to keep taking the ball all the way down the other side of the field. Very useful yesterday as a moving brick wall, constantly getting blocked, so we haven't seen it as much from him. Breezy puts that ball up high, and Marky rotates back because he wants to get himself up the wall, but Snasky, playing the speed game, gets there first.
I'm with you. I think I have to agree. Leftovers will probably thrive a bit more in the slow-paced game.
Oh!
Cooks here.
Cooks here predicts the backboard, expects Farah to try and go off that side because it is his only option, and just takes the shot. Cooks here, tell me the lottery numbers, boy, because you can tell the future.
I don't think I have ever been that caught off guard by a goal. I would have sworn that would have been cleared off the backboard, but Cooks here, knowing that he pinned that defender into only one option, was able to follow suit. He predicted the touch as opposed to the initial bounce. Fantastically played by him, and what looked like a dire situation, down by 1 goal with about 30 seconds left. An own goal by Leftovers, followed by an overtime goal in Cooks here, will give FlipSid Tactics the first game.
And how's that going to feel for the Leftovers? They have effectively given up that first match with the own goal. Had it continued on, they would probably have picked up the win. But instead, they find themselves 1 goal down in this elimination series.
It cannot feel good, but I think they should be able to pick themselves up. Again, the scrappiest team here. They'll fight for the victory. And so will FlipSid. A Game 5 overtime would be fitting for both of these teams.
Certainly would be, like we said earlier, the most clutch teams around. But the stats, pretty low. Only 9 shots between both teams.
Yeah,
that is a very slow-paced game.
We were seeing games yesterday with 9 shots apiece per team.
Yes.
So this is about half the pace, half the shots. FlipSid, they weren't taking many risks, and I don't know how I feel about that, mostly because if there's any team that's mechanically strong enough to succeed in those risks, FlipSid is one of them. Hey, there it is.
And if you like that right there, that is going to be an in-game item, or I think it already might be.
The Duda Hustle.
The Duda Hustle. Well played indeed, as we are going to hit game number 2 on Manfield. Who is going to be able to continue on here? Can FlipSid capitalize on the momentum they have already gained? Or will the Leftovers be able to bounce back from that game 1 loss? As Breezy actually is already going to try and get outside, but he couldn't get any sort of contact. Cooks are up high already. That's going to bounce down dangerously. It might already drop in, and there's Marky Duda early onto the shot.
A fortunate 50-50 early on. Cooks here was trying to follow suit, but Marky Duda's the one who kept up the pressure. Farah did read that well, but he didn't get there quick enough. He was under the ball while his opponent met the ball more head on, pitched it over him, and FlipSid Tactics within 14 seconds take the lead in game number 2.
So now a 3-goal streak for FlipSid Tactics, unchallenged by the Leftovers, who need to start getting themselves back on the board. Marky's going to put early pressure. Farah does get beat to the ball. Here comes Cooks, pushes it down to Greasy, and this is something they were doing so well in scrims, and it's going to mean another goal for FlipSid Tactics.
I thought we may have seen our first pool shot here at the RLCS. Watch Porsicki get slammed by Greasy into the net. He manages to still land, correct himself, and take the shot. 2 goals up, 30 seconds in.
Greasy, one of the best players in the world right now at pretty much everything: shooting, positioning, defensive positioning, boost management, anything you can think of, Greasy Meister can do, and apparently we're going to add on pull shots to that list.
Something to watch out for, though. Remember, the last time that these two teams met, it was a reverse sweep in favor of the leftovers.
Marky tries to tap that one straight down as Greasy's pushed it. It's like he has to get there because he knows Marky Duda is still behind him, and he was. He's now pushed all the way to corner. Farah just wants to try and get a block, but he can't quite get there in time. Snasky looking for a double tap. He's managed to get it. That is a phenomenal goal. Here comes the boom.
A bit of a redemption from his own goal. Following that through with nearly no momentum, Marky did not expect him to keep that up. Honestly, after you see a player make connection with the ball and lose all momentum, you'd never expect them to just try and use the rest of their tank to get to the ball. But Snasky tried to go for the wild card, and it paid off.
And even more impressive there is the fact that he didn't use any boost for a long time after the touch. So Marky Duda gets forced into a false sense of security because he thinks, all right, Snasky's done. There's nothing left for him to work with. And instead, Snasky comes in, last possible moment, boosts get there before him. Well played, but they are still one more goal behind. They've got plenty of time to do something about it, though. Snasky is right in the way. Farah finds himself pushing that ball straight towards Marky, though, as Cux gets that into the air. He's going to try and tap it straight down for Marky Duda. Oh, what a great save there by Sicky, but it's not over just yet. Greasy Meister pushes it straight over to Marky Duda, and we were saying this earlier on, we didn't quite get to finish it before that first goal came in. FlipSid Tactics do not necessarily look for traditional passes. They just slam the ball into each other, and that's how they work it.
I mean, what kind of team can rely more on their incredibly accurate passes than their incredibly accurate shots? FlipSid Tactics always catch teams off guard.
Farah just pushes that straight over to Greasy, who is up high. But FlipSid Tactics needs to be careful of boost management. They cannot get caught in their own half. That double commit will allow Greasy Meister to start moving through. Puts that above Snasky, who has to push it up high. He's managed to do somewhat decent with it, but Cooksage comes in, and he's going to have to thank Sicky later on for getting in the way. Farah, he's got teammates to go for, but we've seen him do it this before. Against FlipSid Tactics, gets challenged by Greasy. But leftovers starting to find their footing, starting to find their positioning, starting to find their rotation, and they are getting faster and faster as this game goes.
It may be a little bit too late. 8 shots for FlipSid Tactics and only a lone shot for the leftovers from Snasky in his goal. Will they be able to pick up the pace? It seems that FlipSid are waking up.
It's going to be straight into the middle, and there is another rundown block by Greasy, not wanting to predict what's going to come towards him. You do not want to do that against the leftovers. Snasky pushes that up high. Greasy with yet another challenge. He's turned into one of the best players in the world at those tackles. Up there with players just like Fireburner, who we will be seeing play later on when NRG take on Mocket eSports. Marky, he's got to try and deal with this. Snasky, lovely block from him. Pushes it straight towards the middle, but Greasy has it covered. Just back on the rotation. Sicky, shot towards target. Cooks, long save from him. Is going to mean that his team is safe for the time being. As Marky and the rest of his team just don't seem ready, as the leftovers are now pushing up and challenging everything in that midfield area. Greasy looking for Cooks, who will flick that just over the top, but Snasky is there just in time. Cooks can just continue playing it, pushes it off that sidewall. Snasky's got to get there before Greasy, and he has done so, shuts the door.
Leftovers need to be careful. The moment they get it clear, they seem to be clearing it out to no one, but here, an opportunity. But Cooks here will meet Snasky at midfield.
Farah comes barreling through, and he's managed to beat Marky to it, but no one ready for the shot. Leftovers still down by 1 goal. Sicky just wants a demo, but he couldn't find anybody. And that ball is going to go all the way back to the leftovers half. More time ticking away on that clock, where they need to find a goal, or they will go 2 games down in this lower bracket series. As Greasy's got time, looks to push that forward, but he just got no one to aim for. Pretty much just turns into a time waster, if anything. Sicky has to move forward. He's managed to get over the top from Greasy, and whiff from Greasy Meister allows Siki to come in.
A beautiful trap, locking it down on the ground, tying it up with only 20 seconds left. Greasy thought he had a better touch, couldn't clear it out, and Marky already trying to predict Greasy's touch, which makes sense. You probably wouldn't expect Greasy Meister to miss.
We've seen that twice now from FlipSid Tactics, where they expect themselves to win pretty much every single tackle, so they move people forward, predicting what happens when that does work out. The only problem is, if it really goes wrong, there is going to be no one around to save them. As Cooks gets that up high, but there's going to be no follow-up. We are tied up yet again, possibly going into our second overtime, but Farah has only got Cooks here to beat, puts it up high, but Siki couldn't get himself an extra touch. Cooks had plenty of boost, and he's just going to put that straight down to the mid part of the field. Game 2, overtime again.
I would love to know the true statistics of how both of these teams do in overtime. Who wins more of them? I honestly couldn't tell you.
I mean, it is the two most clutch teams ever. This is exactly what we want to see from both of them. Let's put you in the most clutch situations possible and see who can outdo the other. Lovely tackle there by Marky, using the forward flip to get extra power and to defeat the oncoming challenger. That's going to go too far to the left of the leftovers goal. As Marky leaves it for Cooks. Flick up high, he's taking his time, wants to bait Farah out, does do so, but Farah, early jump from him. It's going to mean that he can get the block. And pretty much in a deja vu moment, Marky tries to do the exact same thing and gets the exact same result.
Leftovers left that for an uncomfortable amount of time, but a demolition will take Farah out. Now it's left to just Siki and Snasky to defend this.
And the leftovers need to find their rotations back yet again. Farah is going to be on at least low boost for a time being. He's got to get himself up high. It's going to be still dangerous, but no immediate response by FlipSid. They seem to be respecting the leftovers' ability to counterattack. But they are still halfway to the goal. They need to keep it in the orange side, but they cannot afford to over-rotate. So many things that you have to keep control of in your mind when you are playing high-level Rocket League.
And FlipSid, you can tell, are trying to overwhelm. They have 14 shots on goal compared to leftovers only 4. But that means they need to try and make a bit more of their opportunities, while leftovers seem to be scoring on most of their attacks.
And you can see FlipSid Tactics have to play the ball on the floor, but now Farah can move himself forward. He's beat Greasy Meister, tied up here. The leftovers take the win.
1-1, the leftovers, when it seemed like they had nothing left in them, will come back, win it in overtime. Farah with the shot.
Siki was huge there, beating out the oncoming challenge, plays it off that side wall, and we have got ourselves a real series.
We really do. Shogun, I don't know what to think about FlipSid right now. They have so many shots, but why aren't they going on target?
It's not necessarily they're not going on target right now. It's a case of the first shot is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Pull out a defender, put the ball up high, bait them to go up. They are doing that perfectly. The only problem is there is no follow-up whatsoever. They are putting themselves in the perfect situation to get a goal, and they're just not going for it.
It seems they're a bit too timid to take that risk to make sure that they go all the way through with their attack. It's a risk you're always going to make, though. Whenever you're on offense, you need to dedicate a bit more than you're comfortable with, especially against teams like the leftovers who know how to stack the net and know how to stay alive and just keep their breath until the very last second.
Should we get in contact with Yummy? I heard he knows how to take the risk.
Don't do this to me.
I won't.
By the way, nice suit. It's good.
Thank you. Yours looks pretty good as well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. But well, that was one of the things that you just don't know how to follow up on. But the leftovers taking the win there. Very minimal shots compared to the huge amount that the FlipSid Tactics came through with. But a win is a win nonetheless. And yeah, as we said earlier on, the leftovers seem to be playing their game very well right now. Siki is having a phenomenal series.
Everyone in favor of FlipSid Tactics on the desk, but it seems that if the leftovers can wake up, we know they're capable of beating any team on any given day. They've proved it in league play. They have definitely been slow going into the LAN, but if we can see Siki and Snasky start to wake up, it'll be nasty.
As we are going to go into what is now effectively a best of 3 by these 2 European teams. We play over top. Snasky actually his opportunity. Siki, though, controls the ball off the wall and goes for an extra flick.
In only 14 seconds, trying to get him back. Siki touches it down. Farah bails. I like the thought process on that. He knew Siki had control and could correct himself. So instead, he tries to support him by dropping back, but it doesn't matter. Siki's too good. He puts it in.
Great landing right there, and that's going to put the leftovers in an early lead. As there's Snasky just predicting the ball off the wall. going to force Marky to play it all the way back. The leftovers pushing themselves forward more and more. Seems like Siki not even really playing that holding role anymore, just pushing himself forward, almost like they just want to take on FlipSid and not allow them any space to get those creative passes going. That is probably a smart decision, and that's going to be a lovely block goal there from Farah, predicting the attempted clearance.
What is happening? Our FlipSid falling apart. Only one shot for them and no saves. Everything going through. Cooks here, missing it off the back wall. Marky Duda slow to get to the save. Farah capitalizes. Under a minute, already 2 goals for the leftovers.
This is becoming big right here. The leftovers, if they can pick up yet another one, might be able to seal this up very quickly. But FlipSid Tactics will want an early response. It's Marky pushing it up high. He's got players to aim for, but Snaski is there first. As Cooks just trying to find someone, but Marky didn't want to half rotate, and Greasy just didn't want to commit too hard to it. And it's going to be the ball off that sidewall. Greasy, yet another clearance. We can see right here from Cooks there exactly what he's trying to do, is he's just going to try and wait for this. That's the reason why he's holding himself in the middle, because it is the most rotation heavy possible. You can react to pretty much anything that your opponents try to do. It's going to be Ferry. He's now actually pushed his team through, and Greasy's going to get himself back yet again. Those holes, though, keep being exploited by the leftovers. This game is slowing down yet again, which will also favor the leftovers.
A lot of passes from FlipSid, but they don't seem to be at each other like we saw in the game that they had won over the leftovers. They're passing it towards the middle, but it's really empty field play. Right now, Farah, maybe a dribble opportunity against Greasy. Almost gets him.
Snaski's going to keep the pressure going, though. It's going to come off that awkward angle from the roof, as Siki is unable to read it, and Cooks with a long clearance. Straight onto the other end. That's going to be Greasy's to actually latch onto. He's pulled out Farah, but who manages to predict that wall bounce. And the leftovers hold on to their 2-goal lead. Farah comes charging down with the block. Snaski's got that on target, and there's going to need Marky Duda there with the save, avoiding that 3-goal deficit.
There it is. Marky Duda finding Cooks here.
There's Marky off the backboard yet again. Cooks just off that side. Well, they want to keep it in this final third, but they're not quite sure how to get the goal. As Greasy takes out Siki, going to allow Marky Duda time to put it into the air, but there is not going to be enough boost on him, so he cannot follow it with an air dribble. As Ferris find Marky on that side. Snaski just in the right position yet again, Spider-Manning himself onto the low part of the goal. And the leftovers, all 3 of them back. No one wants to commit to this. Cooks gets it down. Greasy can try and follow it up. Snaski, though, misses it, and so does Greasy. The leftovers hold on to their 2-goal lead.
They're doing well. Only 2 minutes left, and FlipSid seem to be sending 1, maybe 2 up at best. But since leftovers are stacking 3 in the net and they have the lead, we need to see more commitment from FlipSid Tactics.
Farah's actually managed to find Snaski. Oh! Cutting pass, cuts FlipSid Tactics defense wide open.
The leftovers' accuracy has been phenomenal this series. 5 shots, and 3 of them will find the back of the net. Cooks here and Greasy Meister left stuck in front of it, not able to reach it in time. Great passing play.
Now FlipSid Tactics have to start getting worried. If they go on to lose this game, they are going to be 1 more loss away from being knocked out of this tournament. The first time ever that they will not have reached the grand finals. Snaski is going to put that up high. Has he got the boost to try and go for the follow-up? He's going to go for it. Pushes it straight down. Now it's going to allow Siki to come straight back in with another touch, but he's not going to be able to read the ball well enough. 3-0 is still the scoreline, though, and we have just got 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Siki with the miss. Snaski, though, has to come in and cover him. Marky just getting that off the side, but once again, because the leftovers have left someone in goal, they are not able to immediately respond. Instead, it is always being cleared away by one of the leftovers players. As Greasy gets it over, but once again, Snaski holding himself on that goal line and just launching himself out. And it puts it straight back into the blue end. That is more time being wasted. As FlipSid Tactics still desperate for 1 goal that might be able to open up the floodgates for them to get back in. That's going to be a complete miss. That is an open goal, and Siki makes it 4. Oh boy, Hiccup, it is starting to feel more and more possible with every single second gone.
Seeing both of these clutch teams bring it to the last second. The leftovers 31 seconds away from being up in the series, being one game away from taking out the reigning world champions.
Ferrer is going to need to deal with this, but right now this game is completely over. And just like last time, Leftovers are doing exactly the right things to take out their opponents. They did it yesterday against both the OCE teams. It just seems like they study at the very last moment and get themselves a passing grade. Nothing more, but they always do just enough.
And they're spreading out so well. Their passes are phenomenal, their rotations are phenomenal, always somebody there, always somebody in net, and they're clearing it hard as well. The Leftovers now up in the series, 2 games to 1. Leftovers are the OCE Slayers. Will they also be the Champion Slayers?
I mean, OCE Slayers, King Slayers, which one would you want to go for?
Both.
Both. Exactly, and that's exactly...
Volcano los dos.
I don't know what any of that means.
Oh yeah, I forgot you. Yeah.
I'm very English, okay? We have one culture over there, and it's English.
Yeah. Weird English, too.
It's weird English. I can not pronounce T's, apparently. But the Leftovers find themselves 4 goals better off in that series. They're looking very strong here. No responses from FlipSid Tactics. And the Leftovers, I mean, the only thing that prevents them from doing the reverse sweep, or any sort of sweep here, was an own goal in game 1. They effectively beat themselves in that game.
Yeah. And FlipSid Tactics, this is now the 2nd time at LAN. They are looking down the barrel. They almost lost to Selfless, and they were able to pull it out. Can they do it again? You heard Marky Duda. He tries to be a good captain for his team. He wants to make sure that he keeps them pumped up, keeps them riled up. I imagine we'll see them screaming right now. They're getting pretty serious, but the Leftovers have to be feeling great. Look at that smile on Snasky's face.
Yeah, and that's when you know Leftovers are starting to feel it, because Snasky has not necessarily been his jovial self on stage as of late, because he doesn't feel like his team is performing up to the level that he knows that they can. If Snasky is smiling right there, it means that something is going very right for that team. So, FlipSid Tactics, can they do what we've known them to do for the last 2 seasons and clutch it out yet again? Siki puts that immediately towards the net, but Marky can read the ball off the wall. They need 2 wins in a row now, or they will be eliminated from the tournament. Oh, Marky, that is not a great start.
No. 1 own goal apiece now, Leftovers and FlipSid.
I think there's no other time I can say this. Marky, that was a crap shot.
There it is. He's lived up to it.
But the Leftovers take that early lead 18 seconds into this game, and that is not going to raise morale at all for FlipSid Tactics. Those are long, booming shots straight towards Ferrer. Greasy can put this somewhere dangerous off that backboard. Cooks there, just wants to keep it away from Siki, who was rotating it in to try and get it away. Ferrer will now be able to. You can see Marky on that sidewall predicting the play. They want to keep this in the Leftovers half, and this is exactly why, because Greasy can put it straight down.
What?
And Siki comes in, the angel of defense, saving his team.
Able to come down from the backboard on top of the crossbar. He saves it and keeps his team in the lead, but how long will it last? Marky to the corner.
Siki didn't even need to go for that one, but he does anyway. Having a phenomenal series. Look at him yet again. He does not want anything. Shots, rebounds, you name it. Siki will not allow it to happen. As he's going to follow this up yet again. He has to beat Greasy, but Greasy low on boost. Not able to get there. Cooks now with his opportunity. This time Ferrer will be the player to clear it away, but only as far as FlipSid Tactics' next rotating player. And Marky is going to leave that for Cooks here, who was looking for Greasy, but Leftovers doing a great job of anticipating where these passes are going to go and intercepting them before anyone can get any sort of contact. And it's pretty much FlipSid's bread and butter being taken away from them. Ball up high. This is going to require Snasky to get it into the corner. That's going to allow Greasy, though, takes a shot. There's going to be a weak one. As Ferrer can also find Snasky. No real danger for the FlipSid Well, for the Leftovers defense. Greasy pushing it to the corner yet again. 1 goal, still the difference here, but it is a lead that could lead to FlipSid Tactics being removed from the tournament, and that's going to be even closer. Siki carries it from the midfield.
Can the Leftovers do the unthinkable? The last time these 2 teams met, the Leftovers did beat FlipSid.
He gets hit halfway through the shot and still able to generate enough power. The Leftovers are on course. Cooks here. He's got some options downfield to aim for. He's going to try and take it himself. But it's just passed straight back over to the leftovers. And you can see exactly what leftover strategy is right here. Do not allow it in their own half. They could not care less about the follow-up. Do not leave anyone at the halfway line. Just hold on for your tournament lives. And you can knock out FlipSid Tactics. Marky going to try and take it. He's going to keep going, but that challenge from Snasky. He's actually going to push that over to Farah. Greasymeister avoids that 3-0 lead, and Cooks can now take control. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. They need a response, and they need it quickly. Greasy can't get there in time. Once again, interceptions coming through by the leftovers, and there is a long shot that's not going to be on target. Cooks can deal with it. But once again, oh, big demo there by Snasky means that Greasy can't immediately put this back into their half. Now Farah off that backboard. It's going to go off that awkward angle from the roof. Shot on target, but Greasy is there just on time.
Oh, so close. Leftovers want to make sure they do not overcommit. They have the lead. Don't give FlipSid any goals, because at 0 seconds is when they perform their strongest.
Yep, they came back against Selfless earlier on in the tournament. Cooks it, just wants to go for a miracle block. 2 of them committed to that. Sicky misses the ball, but Marky has to waste time as well. He needs his teammates back. Greasy is just starting to get there now. Farah pushes through, shot on target, and that could be it!
3 goals up. FlipSid Tactics are facing defeat right now. Will they get knocked out? Farah outpacing Greasymeister. It just seems that FlipSid Tactics cannot find their groove, and the leftovers, while they might be scrappy, they're looking clean as ever right now.
Farah, El Destructor himself, coming through and has put his team up by 3 goals.
But I thought you didn't know Spanish.
I learned a little bit. It's called Google Translate. That's good. Rakitula is actually going to hand his team a lifeline.
If there's any team that can do it in a minute 20, it's definitely FlipSid Tactics. That pass from Greasymeister, phenomenal. Giving it to Marky Duda. That is what we haven't seen out of them so far this series. 2 goals to make. Will FlipSid do it?
Leftovers, 2 players on their team, never played at a LAN environment before, and they are on the verge of putting out the FlipSid Tactics, but they need Sicky to stay high on comms and just keep them calm. They cannot afford to make silly mistakes. As Cooks gets it over to Greasy. Ball pushed up high. Marky just wants to keep the pressure going. It's going to go off that sidewall. Greasy, he just wants to find Cooks, but a rolling ball off the backboard is not going to help them. 55 seconds remaining. Shot goes towards him, but Snasky is there with the block. FlipSid Tactics will not go away. They will fight till their very last breath. You can believe that. And there we are, Cooks here. Puts it straight over, but Snasky's got that backboard yet again. It seems like the leftovers are undeterred by the situation they find themselves in. Farah, long pass straight over into the corner. There is a shot from Sicky. Great save there by Cooks. Keeps his team in. Here's Snasky, puts on target, and he's found the net!
3 goals up with only 30 seconds. Have leftovers done the unthinkable? Will they knock out a reigning world champions?
And you can see barely any celebration from them right there. They are keeping their heads in the game. The leftovers, they beat FlipSid Tactics back in week 1, and they could be about to repeat that feat. Cooks is going to have one of his team's last chances. They have to score something right now. 3 goals is near an insurmountable lead, but they need to do something. Farah puts that just off to the side, but Greasymeister and Marky Duda have their opportunity to go for the counterattack. Marky tries to go square go, and there is Cooks here. Just missing the ball, 8 seconds remaining. The leftovers, the team that came from nowhere. Nobody wanted them, but they are going to take out the world champions.
From OCE Slayers to King Slayers, the leftovers have done it once again. Look at Farah, out of his mind. They're so excited. This one feels so great for them. A team that couldn't find a solid roster. They managed to show up in league play and do it yet again here in LAN. They had a slow start. I was worried about them, but they took out both OCE teams in lower bracket, and now FlipSid Tactics, our reigning world champions, are done.
We are guaranteed new champs. And now the leftovers are going to go on to take on Northern Gaming, and that match is